Ladies and gentlemen of Cincinnati, clear your dance cards, because this is an invitation from Jack. Jack says the best business to get into is monkey business. Jack says once in a lifetime can happen every night. Damn the torpedoes and tomorrow morning. Prepare to live it up, live it loud, and relive it all over late night chilly three-way. Because Cincinnati, this is really happening.
Hi everybody, Dan Illman, Matt Bernier, the DRF.com Formulator Race of the Day for Saturday, March the 25th, race number 10 at Turfway Park, and it's an important Kentucky Derby prep at 1 1/8 over the Turfway Park Poly Track. It's the Grade 3 Spiral. $500,000 is the purse. Let's take a look at this field. You got a big field. These horses are trying to find their way, but at the end of the day, you win, you're in the Derby.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. If you have any sort of horse maybe slanted toward turf as far as the pedigree is concerned, you can still get in if you perform up at Golden Gate in the El Camino, or if you perform here at Turfway in the Spiral.
Remember, folks, head on over to the Race of the Day event page on DRF.com, download those free Formulator past performances, and handicap along with us as we take them in post-position order. The number 1 is Blue Ridge Traveler. Trainer Kenny McPeak likes this horse a little bit. He came from way off the pace to win on dirt last time out. It was just a maiden race. I like the way he finished. It looks like this horse is going the right way. The question is, will he handle the poly?
Yeah, who knows, boy, honestly. You look at it, you see To Honor and Serve. He was by Bernardini. Don't really love them as far as turf and synth is concerned. Look, this horse, he was all out for a long, long time. It was a sustained bid. If he gets the pace, you'd imagine he's going to come on at the end.
Graham Motion knows a thing or two about winning the Spiral and then moving on to winning the Kentucky Derby. You guys remember an Animal Kingdom, of course. Now, Solio, we've seen turf horses obviously do very, very well on the synthetic in the past. Solio's in good form. Third last time out in a non-winners of one other than at Santa Anita. But the winner of that race, Sistron's okay. He came back to improve his Beyer to an 87 when third in a Pasadena.
Maybe I'm just being too harsh on this horse because I had seen what he was capable of doing early on. I was disappointed in the most recent start, and I know he came from the back and speed has been, increasingly kind on the turf at Santa Anita. I wanted him to do a little bit more. I know this horse has ability. Graham Motion has an odd number recently anyway. Past 4 years, synthetic graded stakes, and I know you don't have many opportunities anymore, but he's 0 for 22 and only 8 of them have hit the board. For a guy that's had success in these scenarios with a horse like Solio, who he's 6 on the morning line, I think he goes down from there. I'm just kind of shading him a little bit.
Expect the 3 Fast and Accurate to show speed.
Yes.
He has really put it all together since Lasix was added to the equation by his very capable trainer, Michael Maker, winner of a maiden claimer over this course 2 starts back. And then he wired a sort of a starter stakes field at Gulfstream Park, going 2 turns on the turf on February the 20th. Acid test from a class standpoint, but I don't think this surface and distance is going to be an issue.
No, it shouldn't be. Like you say, he's proven over it when he broke his maiden for 32 back. You'd think he's got one way to go, and that's to the front. I don't think Gaffalione fools around. I think they send him.
Convict Pike has 1 race over a synthetic surface. That was at the Safe Track at OBS on January the 24th. He ran pretty well that day. Didn't like the way he hopped back to his left lead late. He was beaten by Master Plan, who would have run early Saturday morning on the East Coast in the UAE Derby.
Yeah, and you know what? Use that as a bit of a barometer. If that horse runs big out there, I mean, I know we're talking about 2 different surfaces, but maybe it's something to consider. With this horse, I agree. I didn't like that he popped back to his left lead that final 16th. I'm against.
Colonel Sampson is a stakes winner over the Tapeta surface at Golden Gate Field, so it's nice to know that he can handle a synthetic track. Last time out, he was wide in the Grade 3 El Camino Real Derby, but I was very disappointed that he didn't make more of a run. The winner of that race, Zakharov, was 1,000,000-1.
I think he's better than what we saw at Golden Gate. And if you want to just say that, this is a horse that's proven on synthetic. This is a horse that's proven that he can sit and finish. The blinkers come off. You get Lizcano aboard. I'm kind of just going to draw a line through the El Camino. I know he's better than that. I don't want him at some sort of, middling price. But I won't be stunned if he runs well.
Switches to Jose Lizcano, blinkers off, 12-1. One of the horses he finished behind, in the El Camino Real Derby. More power to him, came back to win a 1X with a 76 Beyer. Giant Payday's interesting. This horse has a big late kick on the turf. Last time out in the Palm Beach, he really didn't get a chance to show that off. He was steadied a little bit in the opening quarter mile. He was forced very, very wide into the stretch. He was a little bit goofy with his lead changes late, but this horse is lightly raced, and all he needs is a little bit of pace. I think he'll handle the synth.
Yeah, I'd like to think he will. I thought I liked him a little bit going into that race, and he did. He had a little bit of issue. He got pinched early on, forced to check, and he didn't have the cleanest of runs down the lane. Ian Wilkes has really, really poor numbers over the past 5 years. Turf to synthetic, 1 for 35. The one winner was a 31-1 shot. He's not going to be nearly that high. I think he probably goes off close to that morning line, 8-1, 6-1 range. I like him. I think he's interesting. I just don't want too short on him.
New York-bred Shiraz, no match for Convict Pike, wins 6th in the OBS Championship, 2 starts back. And they ran him on dirt in New York. He is a New York-bred at the end of the day. I'm just not sure what kind of horse he is. I'm not really sure he's a 1.125 runner at the end of the day. Maybe he'll show a little pace.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's going to be forwardly placed. I don't know what else to really add to it, though.
Kitten's Cat might be the favorite in here. He's done some really good things for trainer Joe Sharp. The Kitten's Joy seemed to run really well over the synthetic surface. He won the Kitten's Joy 2-back, but boy, couldn't have asked for a better trip, just sitting up there on the pace. And in a race where there was no closing going on. He was game last time out against a nice turf horse in Ticonderoga. While he's bred for the distance, why is it that we think 1.125 miles might be a little far?
Yeah, boy, you know, you go any farther than this. I thought he was getting a little bit short at the end most recently, and you can argue he had the track in his favor at Gulfstream on the turf, and he got run down by what looks like a really nice horse for Chad in Ticonderoga. I think he's way the horse to beat in here. He has that tactical speed. If he can see out the distance, someone's going to have to run to beat him.
Number 9 is Parlor, who has been very, very impressive from only 3 starts. Now, he is exiting a race at Tampa Bay where he was able to work out a decent enough trip. A hole opened up at just the right time, turning into the stretch. But he was coming from last in a race with no pace, and it was like breaking sticks in the stretch. I mean, Jesus Castano was just a passenger.
You know, when you look at the page and you see figures and they're a little bit light, they don't tell the entire story, particularly with lightly raced horses. When you watch the replay of this horse, Parlor, I understand he didn't beat anything, but that's how you're supposed to do it. Jesus Castano never got out of a gallop with this thing. He didn't even tap him on the shoulder. The trip worked beautifully, but once he got into the clear, he finished. And the best part for me, I can understand why there's some skepticism there. Go back and look at his first and second lifetime starts. There's something here. He can run a little bit. Don't know if this is too much too soon for him. I'd like to think that he fits well in here, and it's interesting. Mike Watchmaker brought it up in the Weekend Warrior. They supplemented him for the Triple Crown 2 days ago, just kind of out of the blue. I think he can run a little bit.
The main concern is the start. He is not a good gate horse.
No, not at all.
Every one of his starts, he has broken poorly, and he's going to be a closer anyway, but I'm not sure he can afford to be, 15 lengths out of it in this race, but he does have a very strong kick and a lot of potential. Bronson goes out for Pletcher, who's just been winning everything with 3-year-olds in North America. By this time, maybe he would have won the UAE Derby with Master Plan. Here's the formulator fact for the 10, Bronson by Medaglia d'Oro out of that good downhill turf mare, Cambia Corsa. I think synthetic's going to be okay for this horse, and Pletcher 36%, a $3 plus ROI with last out winning dirt to synthetic runners that were 3-year-olds. Bronson, a little slow on paper. Maybe this is the surface he's been waiting for.
Yeah, and you brought up the dam. I think that's the most important piece. They tried to get this horse on turf last time. I know he won, but it was off the track, or off the turf, I should say, on a sloppy sealed main track. 2-back, he ran into, I think, a nice little sprinter in Derek Smile. Big, big speed. This horse, I don't know. I mean, you see the Medaglia d'Oro, you think distance is going to be his friend. Cambia Corsa herself down the hill was a freak at Santa Anita. Her babies have been tremendous going down the hill. I wonder if at some point there's, and I'm not suggesting that there should be a trainer change or a move out, but get this horse down the hill.
The number 11, King in His Court, never got a call last time out in the Grade 3, Sam F. Davis, but he was running against 2 of the best horses in the division, McCracken and Taproot, who of course came back to win the Tampa Bay Derby, and the race was on dirt. It was simply an experiment for trainer Mark Casse. We know this horse can step on synth. Stakes winner 2-back, stakes winner 3-back at this distance.
If I knew how they were going to bet this race, I would have maybe made this horse my pick, because his 2 races, 2 and 3 starts back, I thought were both really, really strong. I know things worked out for him in both of them, but clearly this is the surface that he wants. They tried the dirt. I'm not going to hold that against him. Even if he does well here, I mean, I suppose you can make the case we're going to try him in the Kentucky Derby again. We got nothing to lose, and their ultimate goal, you see, is an Ontario bred. I'm sure they've got the Queen's Plate circled. I think he has a big chance in here.
And Hans rounds out the field, well beaten second last time out in the Battaglia and stretched out around 2 turns. I kind of like this horse better at shorter distances, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's hustled out of there by Robbie Alvarado. He's up close to the pace.
Yeah, I have distance questions, particularly breaking from the far outside. If you want to be kind, though, in the Battaglia, I thought a little bit of a premature move into the far turn, flattened out down the lane. I still don't like 1.125 miles.
Pick time for the Grade 3 Spiral. Favorite's probably going to be for Michael Maker, the 8 Kittens cat. We have some concerns about Joe Sharp, concerns about distance. We like Parlor. We like his upside. We like the fact that he really just looks the part in his races. So visually impressive. Just has to run a little bit faster and hopefully gets out of the gate. Yeah,
that's the biggest thing. You brought it up too. I mean, as far as his brakes are concerned, they've really been suspect. He's going to need to work on that. And maybe this is too much too soon, but there's something there.
Matt's going 9, 11, 8, and 6. I'm going 9, 8, 6, and 4 in the Grade 3 Spiral, our formulator race of the day. And if you are playing the Turfway Saturday card from home, and it's a good card. Bourbonnette Oaks, also a grade stake race. Got the Rush Away on the card as well. Pick 4, only a 14% takeout as well. $300 sign-up bonus for new DRF Bet subscribers. Just head on over to drf.com/trifecta. Approximate post time for the Spiral, race number 10, 5:55 Eastern. Best of luck.